We hooked up to power?
We are on power.
Nice.
Who's doing the intro today?
I did it last time, and the time before that.
And this time?
You know, we can switch it up every now and then.
I do it sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it today.
Listen, we all have roles on this show.
You had one, and that was the good night, and you don't even do that anymore.
Yeah, because you guys keep stealing it. That's not my fault.
You gotta get fast, get good.
Look, if you want to take extra jobs away from me, that's fine. I'm not going to take one from you just because you want to tradesies.
This is the post-credit. I'll do the intro.
Josh really not wanting to do that intro.
I do it every time.
You don't do it every time.
I do it
Rachel
some of the
does
time. I'm doing it right
sometimes.
now.
Why do you not want to do the intro? That's your thing.
Because I feel like I can't enunciate HQ movie review very well.
You just did. There you go.
I know, but when I'm doing the intro, it just comes out as, I'll go to the HQ review.
Hear me out. If you beef it, we'll just insert that last one in.
Yeah, there you go. We can edit with the magic of movie
It'll be
editing.
like, hello and welcome to HQ Movie Review. I'm Josh.
Or we could do like we did in the first episode and everyone do it and sound terrible.
That was so bad.
So bad.
So bad.
Terrible.
We were uploading the video and we tested it and we're like, oh god, that's right, we did it that way.
Terrible.
It's amazing how far we've come in such a short time. Anyway, roll the intro, please. You know, we've never done a cold open before.
We haven't.
What I'm saying is maybe we just did.
Oh no.
Hello and welcome to the HQ Movie Review. I'm Rachel,
I'm Josh.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Heather.
and today we watched The Greatest Showman.
I love this movie.
I think we
It's a
all
good
love this
movie.
movie.
Yeah,
This movie is the reason that I bought a movie pass
that's fair.
back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I saw this movie so many times in theaters off of that little card.
Single-handedly brought down the entire business.
That was my goal and I accomplished it.
I used to not really like musicals at all, really, but I'd say this is the movie that made me interested in watching musicals as a genre, like in general.
What other musicals have you seen since?
I mean, Hamilton and Les Mis, not too
Okay.
many, but you know, I'm more. Before watching this, Les Mis never gonna happen. Would never have even been on the table. But this was definitely my gateway into, you know, musical.
Also,
movies.
2 out of 3 of those were Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, what can I say? I really enjoy watching Hugh Jackman movies.
Everyone enjoys Hugh Jackman. It's Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman
Exactly.
just wants to sing and dance. He doesn't want to be Wolverine.
Yeah, but the world wants him to be Wolverine.
He was too good.
Yeah.
So who's actually been to a circus?
I think I went and saw Barnum and Bailey's Greatest Show on Earth as a child, far, far in the past.
I too have vague memories of a circus that I don't know if is real or if I imagined it. But if it was when I was like 3 or 4.
I
All
also have like vague memories, but not like of going to a circus, but watching a recording of a circus that I used to watch at morning care when I went to school. And I just vaguely remember one of my preschool teachers just playing this video. And I just remember going like, oh, what's this?
That's interesting.
Jack goes, "Hey, has anyone been to a circus?" Heather, I have vague memories of watching a thing about a circus.
Have I been to one physically? No.
Look.
In my mind.
I've been to several circuses over the years in my mind.
Like, I don't know if mine is real or not. Like,
To be
mine
fair-
might be real.
To be fair, I don't even know if that those tapes were real. Like,
Okay, so we have
So we have two. I might have hallucinated it.
I have also been to the circus, the P.T. Barnum Greatest Show on Earth circus. This was more like mid-teens for me because we were taking my nephew to the circus, and I was like, oh, I'm also coming along, I guess, because I've never been to one. And then I went, and I've been to one.
Did they still have animals at that point?
I don't remember. This was like around the time when they were getting rid of the animals. I don't remember if this one still had them. It did not leave a big impression on me, this circus.
Nor I, if I actually went.
Much smaller impression on you, Mr. I'm not sure if it really happened.
My circus memory was one of those circle cages that the guy drives the motorcycle around in.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I remember. That and that someone like 2 rows in front of me slipped and fell.
And they weren't a clown?
They weren't a clown. They slipped and fell. And I was so jealous because they were giving them so much free shit to try and keep them like happy and not lawsuit.
Wow.
Dang.
Mine definitely also had the ball of death or whatever it's called with the motorcycles. I do remember that
yeah.
specifically.
You know what? I did go. I do vividly remember that.
All right, I'm glad we unlocked this memory for
You
you.
did. You did. This is live. This is happening right now. I remembered.
Well, the show was recorded, so I mean,
It's live for me, okay?
good times, good times. So, The Greatest Showman. Good for Hugh Jackman. He gets to sing things.
Lots of good songs. Like, when I first saw The Greatest Showman, I was not expecting all the songs to be bangers. But
Right.
they're all good.
Not a single bad one in the batch.
Not a single bad batch.
Not a single,
Not a single
bad batch.
Oh man, Star Wars came in early.
Dang.
Yeah, Greatest Showman really is oops all bangers, especially like there are not a lot of musicals in general, but especially movie musicals that later release a re-recording of their soundtrack entirely sung by other artists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of chokehold that this movie had on society in 2017.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
It really was.
We were free back then.
Free to imagine a time when the circus was still kind of shitty to people, but you know, could be painted in a constantly positive light.
Yeah. We knew in 2017
We knew.
that this was not the circus. This is alternate universe where the circus is moderately less problematic.
Yeah. where P.T. Barnum, I almost called him Hugh Jackman, where P.T. Barnum can go and lift the disenfranchised up out of the darkness and be like, hey, they're already laughing at you. Why don't you get paid for it?
Ooh.
Yeah, no, that was like I really like how this entire movie he's just saying this like borderline awful stuff to people, but it's Hugh Jackman, so he's extremely charming while doing it.
Yeah. I'm just glad that that's not the line that worked.
Yeah.
Like he had to make up some other bullshit to actually like get them to get on board with this. And I get it that it's still bullshit, but at least that wasn't the line that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like offensive bullshit. It's like, no, they'll admire you. This man lies through his teeth like it's nothing. This is his bread and butter. It's easier than breathing for him. He just says anything.
Yeah. The P.T. Barnum, literal compulsive liar. And apparently it's genetic.
Yeah.
They lied like once.
We only saw like 10 lines from them in the movie.
Yeah. Like, listen, those girls are so much genetically. They inherited a song that he sang before they were born. Like, did you see his face when they started singing like A Million Dreams or whatever? He's like, how do you know this song?
I've been singing that song for 25 years.
Yeah. They picked it up like that song is genetic. They inherited it from him.
It's amazing.
I want to talk about going back to the music for a minute. My biggest pet peeve in the songs is in Come Alive, that little intro piece. Those first couple lines that Hugh Jackman sings are like not at all the same rhythm as any other part of the song, and it drives me insane every single time. And there's a little bit of a story in that the first time that I heard that song, it was like the live performance for Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade or Good Morning America or something. And I remember watching it and thinking like, oh, that's offbeat, but it's live. So, I mean, you know, that happens. And then the movie, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is not okay.
It's just how it is.
That's just how it was written.
I mean, it's kind of like how in Hamilton, every time they say Alexander Hamilton, it's not at all to whatever the beat of the song was. It's always to like the same beat as it was the first time they said it in the show.
But that one's at least a motif.
Yeah.
This is just he was like talk singing for a minute before the song kicked in, and I don't love it.
That's fair. It's also like really deep and hard to sing along with.
Yeah.
See, I like that.
That's
yeah,
because you
sure.
just have a deep voice.
Well, it's not that deep, but I can get closer.
It's not that deep, bro.
It's still... Look, there's not a lot of songs that I can sing. So when I get some that are relatively deeper, I really like singing them.
See, I feel like you could sing up there. You just naturally want to like sing 3 octaves lower than everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I absolutely cannot sing higher. No.
But your normal talking voice is up here in human ranges.
Yeah, and then when I start to like add singing like essence to it, whatever you call that.
Hold on.
Melody?
Nope,
Yeah.
nope. Pause the podcast. Singing essence. Please describe for me singing essence. What is this magic you weave into your voice to make it music?
The vibrato of the vocal cords.
Different thing.
I don't know. But whatever happens when you start singing, my voice just goes, nope.
You mean when you just talk but slower? What?
I don't know,
When
man.
you talk with melody?
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen at, like, my normal register. It's, like, that's the high end of what I can get in singing.
Hey, sure, man, I guess. I'm not like a vocal coach or anything. I just feel like that's not how this works.
I don't think that. Hang on, I'm getting an expert.
Good.
Oh, our first, like, guest expert on the show.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind getting, like, singing lessons, and maybe I can unlock, like, an upper register. But
Like a video game.
He's gotta unlock that skill.
yeah, it literally goes from, like, chest voice to just there's nothing between chest voice and just nasal.
Okay, I want you to start talking, and then in the middle of a word, just hold. Just hold in the middle of a word. It's not
Just
no.
hold
you're
in
not,
the middle of
you're
a
not,
word.
Like, yeah, like that. Exactly.
You
There
did
go.
it.
You did it. You sang.
He can sing.
That's singing.
Yeah, that's what I said. I can sing at that.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
that's the highest I get. I can't go higher.
I've heard your voice go higher when you talk.
Yeah, it gets squeaky.
All right, we can unravel this mystery later.
We can unravel the mysteries of my singing voice. But I just enjoy singing deeper.
I don't know why. I just had a vivid memory of the Fairly Odd Parents special "Find Your Voice" with Chip Skylark.
Wow.
Because you're trying to unlock the mystery of your singing voice. Timmy Turner, not a terribly good singer in character, you know?
Yeah. Tara Strong, though. I don't think I've heard Tara Strong really sing much.
I'm sure she voices a character who sings at some point.
Twilight Sparkle
I'm sorry, who?
It's,
from My Little Pony.
yeah, forgive me for not remembering My Little Pony.
I could not name a single character from that show. I don't know what this... Like, I know this exists.
I
remember.
know enough about it because I hung out with people in high school who were fans of it.
Yeah, see,
I don't want to say I associated with bronies.
That's what you just said, though.
No, I knew people who were fans of it. It's not the same.
You ran in their circles.
I did
or
not
should I
run
say
in the-
galloped?
No.
Oh,
You get out.
This is what I tried to avoid.
oh no!
I've been gone for like 3 weeks. The tank is full.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Save this sauce for someone else. I am a jack of all trades. It is my job to know things.
That's a terrible pun.
It's not a pun, it's a lifestyle choice. I have an approximate knowledge of many things. Anyway, The Greatest Showman, yeah?
Yeah, The Greatest Showman.
My next note is just Zac Efron.
Efren?
Efron? Zac Efron?
Zachary Efron.
Okay, I can check that talking point off the list.
I did hear back from our expert on singing essence, and I was informed that their immediate thought was, quote, tone?
Probably.
That makes sense.
I like singing essence.
Of course you would.
You have to gamify this somehow.
It's what all the bards use.
So, Zac Efron
So Zac Efron.
plays Philip.
Yeah?
Yeah. Introduced with, well, I guess he wasn't introduced. He was introduced earlier, but like his first song, one of my favorites.
Oh, it's great.
Yes, could.
Oh my goodness. I love that song. The bartender is my favorite character.
There was a point where we wrote a whole parody version of that song. I feel like I could find it if I really wanted to. I'm not gonna.
You don't have to.
We don't have to.
I did tally the shots that were taken
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
versus Zac Efron versus Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
And during the song, I think that they both took a shot before the song started.
Yeah.
Yes.
But during the song, Hugh Jackman took one full shot,
Okay.
and he gave Zac Efron 4 full shots.
I did notice at a certain point he was just like taking a shot glass and he gave Zac Efron one and he just kind of put his down on the piano and turned around.
It's a whole like I love that whole detail because it tells such a good story. If he's like, I'm trying to liquor him up, so he, makes the call to join, but I need to stay clear-witted, but
Yeah.
I can't like make it clear that I'm trying to do this. So I'm, half fill it. Like at one point he just pours like this tiniest little drop into his own glass and fills his all the way up.
Yeah.
He's doing half shots. He's, presenting his, and then as soon as he turns around, putting it down or dumping it out.
Yeah, it'd be creepy if he was trying to convince him to do like anything else.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's actually a little
It's
bit
still
creepy. He's doing it
problematic now,
It's,
yeah.
it's less creepy and more manipulative and problematic. Yeah.
It can be both.
I mean, it can. It's just, I don't know if creepy is part of it, but regardless, it's one of my favorite
Yeah.
scenes of the movie.
Also, that bartender, my favorite character.
Yeah, no, he's great. Best character.
It's just
The most amount of sass for a man with 0 lines.
absolutely.
I think it's one of the most well choreographed of the movie too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because not every musicals in the traditional sense, as opposed to a movie with singing in it, are supposed to have songs that are actively furthering the plot. And this is absolutely one of those songs. The other ones that I think really kind of fall into that category would be From Now On and A Million Dreams, and maybe to an extent This Is Me, but I feel like there are songs that you can take out and you still have the story.
Yeah. If we never saw Jenny Lynn's performance and Never Enough wasn't in the movie, nothing about the story would really change.
Yeah.
Except we skip over the part where they show her being a good singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rewrite the Stars could be taken out, as a
Yeah.
song. You've already established this
Yeah.
relationship. So as a song, it's not strictly plot driven.
Yeah, it reiterates everything we know about the relationship. They both like each other. Society says no. They can only be themselves behind closed doors. Nothing new is gained from the song, although it is a nice moment.
It's absolutely a nice moment.
very
It does break the laws of physics though.
It does absolutely break the laws of physics.
when they have a counterweight, and Philip just kind of also grabs on the rope, and it still keeps going up with no problems. Doesn't even slow down. It's like, hey, this is not operated by motors. This is a fixed weight on the other end of this.
So let me tell you why I disagree.
Okay, let me know.
I've got a point here. My point is that trapeze is specifically set up for her and her brother.
Okay, then explain to me why when she's on it by herself, he doesn't just shoot her through the roof.
Well, she do still shoot up on some of them.
Yeah, they do go up really fast.
They do go up really fast.
Okay.
And then sometimes she swings. Because it's also, the counterweight is not like fully, because they're going like up and she's lowering back down again slowly. So the counterweight is not over her weight. Like it's designed, yeah.
It's supposed to be at her weight, so that way when she goes up, it continues with momentum, right? But that's why it's so it needs to be so finely tuned, and you can't just throw in more than double the amount of weight and still expect it to function.
But because she go up, but then she starts going back down again.
How's she go down by herself?
She going back down again because the counterweight is lighter than her.
Okay, then how's the counterweight picking up both of them then?
Because it's still calibrated. Josh, I want to tell you something that you may or may not know. This is a work of fiction.
There we go. There we go.
I mean, to be fair, he did hold, like, when he was holding onto the rope, he was still on the ground and she was spinning around. And stuff.
Yeah.
No, they absolutely went up together.
But yeah,
Several
that was the
times.
momentum thing. Like, remember when she, like, pulls it down, so it lifts up, then it goes down and pulls her up, and he grabs the rope and it pulls him up a little bit, and then he goes back down on the ground.
There's a part where they're both swinging up in the air on
Yeah,
it.
there is a part where they both go up.
They're probably sinking slowly.
That's not how that works.
It's
though.
really not how that
Okay,
works.
you,
but
Jack.
what if, hear me out, it is how it works here.
I know that's
I
how
think-
it works
I
here.
think you'll
Not.
find that people also don't spontaneously break into song that they've neither practiced but both know the words to.
See, Josh, I know you've only seen 3 musicals. But something that is a law in the musical world is that physics different.
Physics different.
Yeah.
Physics
Ah,
different.
I see. So
Physics
it goes by
just
the
hits
rule of
different.
cool, huh?
Physics is actually very directly tied to the momentum of the song that they're singing.
Yeah. If they had suddenly stopped singing, it definitely
They
would have
would've
stopped
died.
working. Yeah, no, it would have just
Immediately.
dropped them.
I
That's
see.
why they finished the song on the ground.
This is cartoon physics.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like when you're running over a cliff and you don't look down,
Yeah.
you can keep running.
Yeah,
You
as
don't
long
get
as you keep
mad when
singing.
Bugs Bunny didn't die in Space Jam 2 driving the truck off the cliff. Yeah, fake fan.
So,
That's right, I'm coming for everyone today.
yeah, cartoon physics. New topic.
Good segue. I did want to talk about how Hugh Jackman as P.T. Barnum is constantly rolling like 19s and 20s on his charisma checks,
Yeah.
I mean,
to his detriment sometimes.
to his detriment, he just has like a plus like 13 to his rolls though.
Yeah.
His hat.
It's
It's
the
the hat.
hat.
It's definitely the hat.
Are you
Like-
telling me this man has a hat that raises his charisma? Because that's a stolen joke, Josh. Something Witty Entertainment is gonna sue us. How narrow can I cast this?
That was pretty narrow.
that was yeah.
You're trying to get the Sword Art Online abridged audience and the Greatest Showman and movie reviews. That is almost as narrow as I can imagine.
Josh, our current audience is 2 people, alright? This joke was for us.
I do want to say though that within the first 15 minutes of the film, this man commits fraud.
Oh yeah, he commits fraud and then laughs about it openly with his wife and children. He's like, she's like, oh, how'd you get this amazing $10,000 loan? He's like, oh yeah, I gave them the deed to our ships, our fleet of ships that are sunken in the
That-
South China Sea.
That he stole the deed from his last job.
He stole the deed to a bunch of ships that no longer exist, then gave it to a bank as collateral.
Well, I mean, they do exist. They're just not worth anything.
It is amazing that he was able to pay that off without the bank being like, hey, hold on. We
Yeah.
did some research on these ships.
Yeah.
We
I
did
mean,
any
this
amount
is-
of
This is
research.
back in the day. How were they supposed to find out?
That's a fair point. I mean, but by that same logic, he could have given them anything. It's like, here's a piece of paper that says I own the moon. Give me $10,000, please.
You're acting like that's not something that happened. Maybe not with like P.T. Barnum, but like I'm sure plenty of people have done that.
Yeah. You can sell somebody a beach house in Idaho, I guess.
A deed's just a piece of paper. You can write whatever you want if your handwriting's good enough.
You think someone would do that? Just lie on a deed?
Absolutely, someone would do that. Especially if they had no way to check if it was real or not.
Yeah. There's no database of houses, land ownership databases,
It is astonishing that anyone existed before the internet.
right? Imagine if you lived back then, the amount of shit you could get away with.
Right? Like, we were watching a show yesterday, which I don't know if it's a spoiler for the show, I don't know. But, like, it's set in, like, the 50s, and the dad with his family just leaves. He just moves across country. He's like, oh, I'm not coming back, sorry. And that's it. He has a house that he owns, like, a wife and a child, and he's just like, yeah, no, bye.
Yeah. Weren't they from like Kentucky or something? And
Yeah.
then he's like, yeah, I'm going to Denver, Colorado. Bye. I'm staying permanently.
And that's it.
That's all he had to do.
Nope.
It's Just,
As far as I can tell, we're not done watching the show, but there's no consequences. He just leaves.
yeah. Just drives across country and decides to start over.
And there's nothing tying him back to Kentucky.
Yeah. Like if he gets remarried over there, it's not like, hey, yeah, the database of everyone's marriage says you're already married. No, they don't have that.
Like, I know the Wild West is kind of like a cliche, but if, like, living in the Wild West, you just walk into a town like, hey, I'm a doctor. And like, oh, sweet, we need a doctor. Do you want to do some surgery right now? This guy needs surgery. Do you want to just do surgery? You said you're a doctor. I believe you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it takes.
Yeah. Oh, you need me to show credentials? Hey, here's a piece of paper that says I'm a doctor written on it.
Yeah.
Good enough for me.
I can't read it while I'm a doctor, so. That joke has layers. Anyway. To talk about, like, actual, film things, Never Enough is a really good song. I know we talked about a few minutes ago how Never Enough could absolutely be cut from the show and it would mean nothing, but also it's a really good song because it perfectly describes both Jenny and Phineas at that point. Like, they're both insatiable. It's never enough for them. And that's also why, like, the first couple times you hear the applause, you zoom in on Phineas and he can't hear it because it's nothing. It's not enough. It will not fill the hole in his life. So I thought that was a real neat.
It's real deep.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. I mean, I noticed not clapping, but
Yeah.
I didn't put that together.
Because, like, both times people are actively applauding, but it's not enough to, like, it's not fulfilling, and so we can't hear it.
Interesting. That's a cool take. Her name was Jenny?
Jenny Lynn.
Jenny
Jenny.
Lynn.
She's a real asshole.
Yeah, no, she's a jerk.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah,
Sucked
like,
what she did.
like this man completely faithful the entire time. Like that was never on his mind. That's a whole other issue, by the way, with him. Why didn't he take his family? I don't understand why he couldn't have taken his family with him on this trip.
I just assume it's the extra money of, like, having to room and board and feed them.
Yeah.
Because, like, he was, like, before the trip, they're talking, like, hey, we have to, like, double up on bunk beds for the entire orchestra. You need to get the cheapest, like, players you have. Like, it's gonna be a fortune feeding and housing all of these people we're taking with us on the tour. And we're not gonna make any money till the 41st show. So adding the 3 extra people who also need to sleep and eat somewhere is
Yeah.
just an extra expense.
It couldn't have been that much more of expense, in comparison to everything else. But still, I think if he critically thought about the situation for like 30 seconds, he'd be like, yes, I'm traveling cross country without my wife with another woman, And
Well, see, that's the thing. He was so faithful. He didn't even consider it. Like,
Yeah.
the entire time he's talking to her, he's like laying on the charms. He's like, yeah, I need her to like come with me to America and perform, and this is gonna be great. And he is not at all realizing that he has accidentally seduced this woman.
yeah.
So like, she's like, yeah, I've given you the world. Cheers. And he's like, yeah. And then she like lingers in real close and is like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, I've made a mistake. Hey, we can't do this. And she's like, how dare you? You are so careless with people. You're the one at risk. And he's like, what? I've done nothing. What? Like,
How are you at risk at all here?
yeah, he did nothing to string her along. He was just a handsome, charming gentleman. And she's like, oh, you've scorned my advances. I'm going to financially ruin you, and then also ruin your marriage, because fuck you.
Yeah. And then the fire also on top of that. I know it's not her fault, but also just like the timing of everything was just like, wow.
He gets back, he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna redevote myself to my marriage. Hopefully, Jenny Lynn stays on tour, even though she said she was quitting. And then he gets back, and the same night his circus is burned down.
And then the next day he gets the paper that says she's quit, and he's like, well, I just...
It's not just that. It's the paper that says, A, she's quit. B, you're cheating on your wife. C, scandal.
Yeah.
I think C and B are related, but still.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, well, I have lost everything. Yeah.
All in like 2 days.
It's a fun 24 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe 48. I don't know how long the train ride was or where they were. They were in Cincinnati. That's where they were.
But then he gets to sing the absolute banger that is From Now On.
Yeah. Where they show up in the same bar from... Like, what is this bar? Why is it always empty?
I like to imagine that he's just like best friends with the bartender there, or like the bar owner, if they're not the same person, and he just
They just gave him the keys.
yeah, it's just I mean his picture of his family's on
Yeah,
the wall.
Yeah,
There's
there are
several
framed
pictures.
photos of this
Yeah,
man.
there are several framed photos of him. There's one of him with the queen. There's one of him and his family. There's another one of him like in front of the like. I was paying attention. There are several famed photos of this man to the point where I was like, maybe this bar is in his house. Is this his what?
Does he own the bar
Right?
too?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why? First of all, like, other ones I can kind of understand because, like, sometimes, like, hey, this famous person was here.
Yeah, it's like,
Kind
oh,
of
here's him with the queen. But then there's just the one of him and his family.
Yeah, then there's just him and his family is like, why would that be there? Other than for plot reasons.
Like I said, he has to like have been best friends at one point with the bartender or owner, and just like he's just allowed to go there at any time and drink.
Yeah, and steal beer.
Yeah. Also, one of my favorite parts about that song is at the end of it, he just runs out the door and runs on the train while everyone else is still celebrating.
Yeah, that's gotta be super awkward. Like, you finish the song, like, all right, cool. He's gone. All right, well, now we're just here in this bar.
And they all went to sleep because they were drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all get so drunk they pass out at the bar, wake up, and he's long gone. Like, he was gone while they were still singing.
The bartender comes in to open. He's like, who the fuck are any of you? Why are you here? Why have you drank all of my beer? You need to pay for this.
Yeah, and this is right at the point where no one has any money.
Yeah. Also, like, at the beginning of the movie, there's a financial crisis going on.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I know we jumped past it, but I did want to go back and talk about how just more PT actually being kind of crappy things. He closes them out of, like, the banquet after Jenny's first performance.
Yes.
And then he turns around and says the exact same words to her that he said to Letty. And it was the line about, like, they don't know it, but they're gonna love you. Like, he closes his door on her face, turns around, and then immediately says that to Jenny. It's like, oh boy, it's a really shitty thing to do,
Yeah.
Phineas. Also, he keeps leaving elephants everywhere, and that's just... Like, this is New York. You can't just park that on the street, man.
There's no DMV yet. He can't get a parking ticket.
Yeah, but he can leave. Like, after the fire, pickpocket man. I don't remember his name.
O'Malley.
Yeah.
O'Malley, the marvelous O'Malley. Thank you. He's like, hey O'Malley, where are the animals? He's like, we had to let him go. The building is on fire. What do you want from us? And so like, there's just a bunch of random. There's like, I don't think he had the lions at that point, but the elephants are just wandering around.
The
and
zebras are zooming.
Yeah. The
Those aren't zebras.
The
Those are
quote,
painted horses.
Zebras.
The
quote-unquote
zebras.
I really appreciate the fact that when he brings his family home with the zebra drawn carriage, you can clearly see that the snout, or not the snout, what's the
Muzzle?
Muzzle? Is that that's
The
not
nose.
Nose.
It's just a
The word?
nose.
It's kind of the space behind the nose, but like that area is still brown because it just wasn't painted. Because it's like, it's not even like, oh, he took a black horse and painted it white, or he took a white horse and made it brown. He took a brown horse, painted it black and white.
And it was probably a little hard to like paint the horse face,
Yeah.
so they just kind of gave up.
I mean, listen, he painted the horse's undercarriage. I imagine the face would probably be easier to reach.
I think the horse just, has more of a problem with it.
Yeah, but all the dangerous parts are near the undercarriage.
All the kicking parts are down there.
The kicking parts are, but the biting parts are up front.
Horses are very dangerous animals. Why did we domesticate them?
For a lot of reasons, but being dangerous is definitely one of them as well.
They also are omnivores. You don't really think about it. They'll eat anything.
They absolutely will.
They do be fun to pet, though.
It's true.
They're pretty majestic. I'll give it to them. I'll give them that.
Have you ever fed a horse a carrot? That's why we domesticate it.
I just vividly, for some reason, when you said "Have you ever," just Pocahontas just popped into my head, and I was trying to see how I could fit "Have you ever fed a horse a carrot" into that song.
Something about a blue corn moon. I don't know, man.
You do gotta be careful, though, because if you curl your fingers upward, then they think finger is carrot, and they can bite through it like one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Remember that time I had to explain to you guys the look a gift horse in the mouse phrase, or in the mouth phrase?
In the mouse?
Don't look at that horse's mouse, friend.
I do remember that.
Yes.
In fact, I was thinking about that when we started talking about horses.
Good.
Never look a gift zebra at the snout.
That's it.
It's really. I don't know if we can use that as an episode title. That's really out there.
No, that is the title.
I really like Phineas and Phil.
High School Musical 4, Phineas and Phil
It's too many hats. It's a hat on a hat.
is.
All right, gift zebra it is.
Never look a gift zebra in the snout.
To be fair,
To be fair.
some of the other ones are also pretty out there. Like Elton John Detected. I know that's from the movie, but that's like one or two instances in the movie.
Listen, I will never say that we're not grasping at straws with these titles.
Oh, I can't believe I missed Lion King.
Yeah, you missed some really good chances to like shit on the live action Lion King.
Oh yeah. This is all getting cut, right?
Depends how much time we need.
And who's editing? It's gonna be me.
You missed us talking for like 10 minutes about the Lion Guard.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Ooh!
we talked for so long about the Lion
The
Guard.
Lion Guard has some generational trauma subplots.
Yeah.
It does.
Travel to Asia. It's really weird.
It's not even The Greatest Showman.
There were lions in The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, it all ties together. It's lions all the way down.
Nope.
Where did they get those lions?
Where'd they get the elephants?
Somewhere.
I imagine they just found. Do you know how easy it is to spot an elephant in New York?
What?
My point being is that they were the same elephants before. They just caught them again. Where would the elephant
Where'd
have
he
gone?
get
Where'd
them
he get
the
them
first
the first
time?
That's not important.
They were wax, and then they were alive.
Yeah, because his daughter said you need more living things, and so I don't know.
But how did
Did
he
she
get
wish them alive?
Yeah, they had the wishing machine.
Is it the same place where Josh's physics is?
Yeah. Yeah, he ordered it off Amazon, of course.
Yes. Amazon.
Yes.
And if elephants lived in like the Amazon rainforest, that'd be a really good joke.
Oh, I know.
I know we were just joking about like how you don't have to follow logic in the musical, but I really like how he has this future vision of the circus at the beginning of the movie, and like he perfectly predicts the end of the movie, even the parts he couldn't have known, like how they're in a tent and Zendaya's there. It's like, hold on.
Yeah.
The tent thing was a last minute decision that you made because your building burned down, and this woman hasn't been born yet, sir. I appreciate the cinematography of it all, and the opening song is great. But it is weird that he just imagines that as a child looking at like a suit in a window.
And he also knows, like, what he's going to look like in the future.
I mean, I feel like we all want to imagine we're going to be Hugh Jackman when we grow up.
I want to be Hugh
Yeah, but he
Jackman
actually
when I
gets
grow
to
up.
be, and that's not fair.
Someone had to be Hugh Jackman.
Statistically speaking.
Yeah. He definitely won the lottery on that one.
Some would say the Hugh Jackpot.
There it is. I was desperately trying to think of something.
I'm just disappointed in myself that I didn't come up with it.
Listen, you can't slam dunk all of your layups, man. You set it up sometimes, just alley oops to someone
Yeah.
else.
Spike it in.
Sometimes those are the best plays.
I'm just glad that all of those metaphors are from the same sport. I was.
Ah, yes. Sports ball.
It's the one with the basket.
Jack, you know basketball and basketball?
You know very well I know
Say
at least
it.
one other sport.
Say it.
When does Space Jam come into this?
I mean, a couple weeks ago now. Jam Central was episode 12.
If we're talking about basketball, we gotta talk about the Looney Tunes.
Do you have a Basketball Jones?
Did the Monstars feature in The Greatest Showman or not?
What?
I don't know. I'm really
talking
just
about?
throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall right now. Are we done?
Spaghetti doesn't stick to stuff.
You don't know about throwing spaghetti at the wall?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
You
if it's
never
like-
heard that phrase?
Have you never tried throwing spaghetti at a wall?
That's how you know when it's done, is you take spaghetti and you throw it at the wall, and if it sticks to the wall, then it's done.
If it falls, then 4 more months of winter. I could not say it with a straight face. Also, 4 months is probably too many. This is good. This is a good
Seeing as
episode.
4 months is probably longer than a season.
It's a good episode. A lot of good bits. I can't imagine how I'm going to cut any of this.
Half of it has absolutely nothing to do with Greatest Showman.
That's never stopped us before.
I feel like this might be one of the least on topic we've ever been.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah.
It's the least off Star Wars topic we've ever been.
We did Bad Batch very early.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like
did.
minute 1.
Yeah, we did it early, but we got it out of the way.
You assume we can't go back to it.
I've brought this curse upon us. I
You know
know.
what I saw at Target?
What?
I saw they got the Star Wars Hot Wheels back in,
Ooh.
but they had one that was General Grievous and the like little tire thing from episode 3, and I almost bought that
You
shit.
mean one of the only vehicles that has wheels?
I did buy the
it is
Millennium
weird.
Falcon. I'm
Why-
gonna do another terrarium
Why would Hot Wheels buy the license to Star Wars stuff?
because it's a
cool.
money. It's money. It's
Their name
printing
is
money.
Hot Wheels.
Money.
They pour
99.
the metal into the die cast and they open it up and there's a $10 bill.
It's like their whole thing is wheels.
Yeah, but listen, also, they do make car versions of, like, they do make Star Wars themed cars in addition to ships.
I get it. It's funny to me that Hot Wheels makes Star Wars stuff when Star Wars specifically has so few wheeled vehicles.
I think I can only think of 2 right now, but I know there's at least one more.
There's the Jawa bus.
I think that uses tank treads. Does that use wheels?
I don't know. Isn't that's it rolls, it doesn't float, and that's the criteria that I'm using.
Fair enough. I get tank treads are just wheels with belts on.
Yeah.
There was a snow speeder, that was on the ground that recently showed up in a practical effects thing about Star Wars from
Was it
Empire Strikes Back.
Was it in the show,
Like
movie,
in
whatever
canon?
it was?
No, it was in the movie. It was in Empire Strikes Back, but they were talking about like that a lot of the early Star Wars stuff, they just kind of had to use whatever and then make it look like space, and it was literally just like a snowmobile that they like put a skin on.
Huh, okay. See, I was thinking about like that big tank thing from like the Clone Wars. It's like a big like 8-wheel tank. It looks like a caterpillar but with giant wheels on the sides. There's that thing, and then there's General Grievous's big wheel that he sits in.
When you said caterpillar with giant wheels, I did fully think that you were talking about the siege breaking vehicles from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Bruh.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, yeah. Sokka's big caterpillar tanks
Yeah.
for Earthbenders. That's in Star Wars. Honestly, I mean, it's not like a... I could see that in Star Wars.
Yeah.
You go to like a swamp planet or something, they're there.
Didn't the Wookiees have wheels? I feel like the Wookiees had a wheeled ship.
I do remember there being droids with wheels attacking...
Droids have wheels.
Yeah,
That one droid is a wheel.
you know the one.
There's actually 2 round droid.
Are we talking about destroyers? Because they only transform into wheels sometimes. They don't count.
No, I was talking about BB-8 and also Dio.
I mean, Dio has a wheel. BB-8's a ball. It's not a
BB-8's
wheel.
an omnidirectional wheel.
Also
It's
known
a
as a ball.
sphere. He's spherical.
It's spherical.
Yeah, there we go. Drake and Josh joke.
I love that joke. Good old rip on the Xbox.
So this is what we've come to? Is this...
I mean, I can just keep telling you, like, unhinged things.
about the Greatest Showman or just in general?
I can
Just
pull
in
up the
general.
trivia page on Greatest Showman.
Heather, that's your whole job. What have you been doing this whole time?
That is not my job. That's Brandon's,
It's Brandon's job, and
Your
he's not
job,
here.
and it's not here. So anyway, trivia.
So, Rebecca Ferguson, who played Jenny Lind, her voice was dubbed by Lauren Alred for the song Never Enough.
Oh, yeah. That pisses me off so
Yeah.
much. They should have
So-
just cast someone who could sing.
Well,
Wait.
so Ferguson had studied music and admitted that she can carry a tune, but since Jenny Lind, her character, is considered the best singer in the world, dubbing her voice would be in service of the movie. However, in order to get into the role, Ferguson insisted on singing the song in front of the extras while filming. So she could sing. She
Just not that
just
great.
not that great.
So then they did a High School Musical again
Yes.
with the Zac Efron.
And his
Yes.
watery eyes.
That boy was always about to cry. The whole movie.
He never blinked.
So, speaking of Zac Efron, he said that the kiss between him and Zendaya that they had in this film was his favorite kiss of all time. However, he has also joked that his kiss with Dwayne Johnson in Baywatch was his favorite.
Which is it? I need to know.
Honestly, that's... I don't know if I could choose. That's a really hard criteria. Like,
Yeah.
and then we all just kind of sat and thought about that for a second.
How does one compare two sunsets?
Hugh Jackman stated that this film was the hardest he prepared for compared to Logan.
Wait.
So
Okay, all
that word for word, what it says is Hugh Jackman stated that this film was the hardest he prepared for compared to Logan.
Y'all know the From Now On rehearsal bit, right?
I think so, yeah.
So, like, he showed up to New York to do, like, the rehearsal with all of the rest of the cast for From Now On, but he had just had, like, surgery on his nose,
I do
and they were
remember
like, you
that.
cannot sing this right
Yes,
now.
I have.
Because you will rip your stitches out. And he was like, okay, and they had someone step in for it.
It was
And as they were playing, like,
it was Jeremy Jordan.
yeah. But they were playing the intro music for it. And he's just like, no, and he gets up and he does the song, and it was absolute. The video for it is just, there's such an electric energy to it.
Yeah.
And he ripped his stitches out and he had to go get them put back in after the rehearsal.
He just had the music in his soul and he couldn't contain it.
Yeah, it just had to flow.
Also, like, I'm really glad he qualified it with, like, besides Logan, because the amount they have to, like, dehydrate you to get the muscle definition for, like, superhero movies is ridiculous.
And dangerous.
And and dangerous. It's also wild thinking of, like, do you remember what he looked like in that first X-Men movie?
Oh, yeah.
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 He's a very soft man. Like, he's still, like, muscular and stuff. Like, I wouldn't fight him. But, like, compared to how he looks in Logan, where it's like, oh, you have... I can see every single one of your muscles.
And veins and just...
Yeah.
You look like a very thin
You look
layer
like you were
of
drawn
skin.
by Todd McFarlane.
Just like the thinnest skin covering just 100% muscle.
So Jenny Lynn was actually written with Anne Hathaway in mind.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
Can definitely see it though.
I can see it. I like Anne Hathaway too much. I'm glad she didn't get the role.
Okay.
Like I enjoy her as an actor, and that's a really kind of shitty role.
I don't want her to do anything I dislike.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it would have. I kind of like that, with the exception of Hugh Jackman, a lot of the cast is people that you don't necessarily recognize at first glance.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I feel like Anne Hathaway would have maybe detracted from the Hugh Jackman show a little bit.
I mean, case in point, we've been calling his character, like, we've been calling them by their actor names the entire time.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I guess we had Zac Efron in there too, and it didn't
Yeah.
take
Okay.
away.
Okay. Jeremy Jordan was originally supposed to play the role of Philip Carlyle, but Zac Efron was given the part instead because he's more popular.
Oof.
Oof.
I
mean,
think
he
I
is.
would have preferred Jeremy Jordan.
Nah.
I mean,
I could see
singing voice-wise.
I could see Jeremy Jordan doing it, but I feel like just the way that he delivers a lot of his singing, I don't think meshes well with the style of the musical.
That's fair.
Because he does have a very distinct delivery to it. Like, Ben Platt has a specific delivery. Can we talk about how Ben Platt looks 30 years old in the Dear Evan Hansen trailer?
Does.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Also, I heard about what songs they were taking out of it and what that means for the show.
Oh,
for her
yeah.
movie.
Whoa, what songs are they taking out?
They're no longer opening with Anybody Have a Map.
What?
That's not in it anymore. Good For You is taken out.
Okay.
What else did they
I
pull?
don't remember the third one.
I don't remember what the third one was, but it's very much like the way that they've the songs that they've pulled kind of indicates that we're trying to paint Evan in maybe a better light or a more sympathetic,
Yeah, which is not
which is
great
not
because
the
he
point.
does a bad thing and then realizes the consequences of it. And you took out the song where he realized the consequences of it.
Yeah. Like, Dear Evan Hansen, love the songs. Songs, great. Actual play itself, I can't watch it.
I think it's also funny that none of the promotional material has used the song Dear Evan Hansen.
You mean Sincerely Me?
Yeah, Sincerely Me. It's the one where they say Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, it's I guess, like, it's not the titular song because it's not the same title, but, like, it's where the title comes from.
It's the roll credits song.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
But it's also, like, a fun, goofy song. And, like, no, we want this to be a serious, emotional, like, drama or whatever is how they're promoting it.
Did you also hear? Sorry, I'm on a bit of a musical theater sidebar right now.
I mean, it's
but-
more relevant than what we've been talking about.
Were you guys involved at all in, like, all of the Twitter drama when Lea Michele did not get the lead in Funny Girl?
I was not, but I imagine it's very juicy drama.
The context of it, just like, because she was Rachel Berry in Glee, and that song Don't Rain on My Parade is like the big number for Funny Girl, and her character in Glee stars on Broadway in Funny Girl, and it's her whole dream, and it's this whole thing. And she, I guess, at like a concert that she was doing, turned to the person who was directing Funny Girl on Broadway and was like, you know what, I'm ready, let's do it. And then they cast someone else.
Oh, that's rough.
Everyone's like, it's bad. It's bad to laugh about, but it is a little funny.
It is funny.
I think that's all my musical theater news. Going back to Jeremy Jordan, I feel like he would have done a fine job in this show, but I kind of prefer that it's Zac Efron.
I like Zac Efron.
I like Zac
That's
Efron. I feel like he had really good chemistry with Zendaya too.
Yeah.
And they did their own stunts for Rewrite the Stars.
Yeah.
They
Like,
did.
they did that. I loved like watching the behind the scenes clips of them trying to do the bit where they're like spinning against each other really fast.
Yeah.
And they just keep slamming into each other, and you hear them like, oh.
Still very impressive.
Yeah. So, can we do final thoughts?
That's what I was thinking.
Final thoughts, everybody?
I was thinking about Spider-Man, but we can count thoughts.
So final thoughts.
I mean, I love this movie. It was definitely good to revisit it. It's something that I watched, so many times when it first came out, and I'm glad that I took a little break from it and was able to come back and kind of remember how fun it is.
Oh yeah, definitely feel the exact same way. I remember when it first came out, and I was like kind of hesitant. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to watch it. And then I did, and then I was like, all right, well now I gotta get the soundtrack and then listen to it in the car on repeat for the next 3 months, and then watch it a bunch more times. And then, like you said, you gave it some time, and now it's like it's a fun rewatch now.
Yeah, I'd agree. I didn't rewatch it as many times as you guys did, but I did have the original soundtrack just in my phone constantly. So it's also fun hearing the songs again from the movie where they're slightly different. It gives it a little bit more flavor, or just hearing a part and remembering, oh, hey, this is that person on screen and not just another part in the song. And, it is just a good, fun movie to come back to every once in a while.
Every time I was setting up a sound system or readjusting it, I would use one of the Greatest Showman tracks to audio balance everything.
There's a lot of bass in some of
That
these.
makes
Yeah.
sense. I really enjoy this movie. I never I think I've seen it this is the third time I've seen it now. I haven't seen it all that much, but I still love it every time I watch it. I love listening to all the songs. It's overall just a really good time.
And you know what else has been a good time? This podcast episode.
This has been HQ Movie Review. I'm Rachel.
I'm Josh.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Heather.
Good night, everybody.
See, we let you do it this time.
Nailed it.